Gas prices have been holding fairly stable since their big jump early this year, but is a gas shortage looming? The cost of new RVs keeps increasing, and it's not just due to demand. A driver is run over by his own motorhome leaving a campsite. Ford announces new towing tech, and more. It's time for the latest in RV and camping news. I'm Jason Epperson, and welcome to the RV Miles News Roundup, where we provide you with all the latest news and information about RVs, camping, and road trip travel. We have some big headlines this week, so let's just get right down into it. We begin with the current state of fuel and what it means for RV owners who are on the road this summer. The national average for a gallon of gasoline held steady throughout April, around $2.87 per gallon. But that doesn't mean that some places didn't see big increases as others saw relief. Refineries are back to capacity after that big southern freeze-up earlier this year, but a new report from NBC says that the U.S. could be looking at a whole different gas price problem. Almost 1/4 of the country's tanker trucks are currently idled because there's no one to put behind the wheel, according to the National Tank Truck Carriers Industry Trade Association. There's also a shortage of dispatchers and back office staff, trained mechanics, as well as registered inspectors for tanker truck operations. There have already been brief shortages in Florida, Arizona, and Missouri due to a lack of drivers. But there's one giant labor pool that could help solve the problem. According to Advanced Training Systems, a company that makes simulators for trucking schools, only 10% of truck drivers are women. But truck driving women influencers on social media platforms like TikTok are demystifying the career path. Charlotte, North Carolina-based Clarissa Rankin, for example, has nearly 1 million TikTok followers who travel with her as she explains the pluses and minuses of her industry.
Somebody gonna try to come to you today with a negative spirit and a negative tongue. Somebody gonna try to come to you and put negative energy on you with drama and hate. But go ahead and let them know, you too cute today. You too cute today.
Trucking is consistently listed as one of the top-paying career positions open to applicants without a college degree. And there are an estimated 55,000 to 65,000 positions available right now. Have you seen the price of lumber lately? A boom in the building and remodeling industries has increased demand for lumber over the past few months, and supply has not been able to catch up, resulting in an increase in lumber's cost by 340%. But it's not just lumber, it's every raw material. The World Bank has predicted that the price of metals will increase 30% over 2020. Copper prices reached a 10-year high in 2021's first 3 months, and aluminum jumped 9% in the first quarter. RV manufacturers are certainly feeling the burn of those price increases, not only from raw materials they use, but on down the supply chain to all the manufacturers of the components RVs are made out of. The result? Virtually every RV manufacturer has raised their invoice prices to dealers multiple times this year. A 67-year-old man died in the Las Vegas area on Monday after falling out of his motorhome and getting run over by its rear wheels while pulling out of his site in an RV park. Witnesses told police the man was backing out of his site in his 2004 Tiffin motor coach with a trailer attached. The trailer jackknifed, and the man leaned out of the driver's door to watch the trailer as he pulled forward to straighten it. He fell out, and he landed in the path of the motorhome's rear wheels as it idled itself forward. The man was not identified pending notification of relatives. New data into the motivation and trip preferences of people who purchased RVs since the onset of the pandemic revealed trends towards shorter trips and a preference for state parks. The Recreational Vehicle Industry Association, or the RVIA, says fewer than 1/3 of new RV owners took trips more than 300 miles in length. 54% opted to stay closer to home, with trips under 200 miles. For those buyers, state parks and recreation area campgrounds topped the list of ideal places to stay. RV resorts, private campgrounds, and national park campgrounds trailed slightly behind the others. This episode is sponsored by the Togo RV app. If you're looking for route navigation on your phone that takes into account the length and the height of your RV, look no further than the Togo RV app, which also includes checklists, maintenance reminders, and recall alerts for your specific RV and more. The app is free, but a $39 per year Togo RV Plus membership gives you full access to the navigation features, plus my favorite trip planning software, Road Trippers Plus. You can get $10 off with the code in the description below. Ford announced on Thursday that second quarter truck production is likely to be down 50% due to this computer chip shortage problem. But that's not stopping them from releasing more new features. This summer, the Ford F-150 will debut available onboard scales, which estimate cargo weight in real time and indicate capacity through an app or the infotainment display and even on the taillights. An available smart hitch will measure tongue weight to help customers properly hitch up and reduce the possibility of trailer sway when towing. And available continuously controlled damping will automatically adjust shock performance by operating valves in milliseconds, improving ride and handling on and off road, especially in towing situations and when hitting a pothole full bore. How many different RVs are made in America? RVTravel.com has the answer in a new free comprehensive directory that lists every U.S. manufacturer and its makes and models. RVs Who Makes What is a free 73-page PDF directory written by Bradford Gear, who spent more than a year gathering and compiling the useful information. The result, says RVTravel.com publisher Chuck Woodbury, is the most comprehensive guide to RV manufacturers and their brands ever assembled. I'll link to it in the description. For those of you paper map aficionados, and I'm one of them, Rand McNally has released its 98th edition of its iconic Road Atlas. The new edition highlights America's 63 national parks in an editorial and features special inset maps of some national parks, as well as the renaming of New River Gorge National Park and Preserve in West Virginia, the most recent National Park inductee. Every year, Rand McNally cartographers evaluate areas that may benefit from additional mapping, including expanding metro areas, as well as document changes to roads and new points of interest. This year's atlas includes thousands of updates, including Massachusetts and Vermont's new mileage-based exit numbers. If you want to learn about RVing with kids, how to homeschool on the road, how to stay connected while traveling, and ultimately how to make RV life the best possible adventure for you and your family, there's an online event happening for you. It's called the RV Family Virtual Summit from May 11th through May 15th, and it's free. And it'll include seminars, interviews, and stories from the road from lots of full-time traveling families, along with practical advice, tips, and insider information to help you get going now. Abby and I will be speaking about traveling to national parks with kids. Head over to rvfamilysummit.com to grab a free ticket. On Tuesday, I released a video about some of Camping World's recent projects and acquisitions, and I was a day early for this news. On Wednesday, Camping World's new peer-to-peer RV rental platform was announced, and it's set to begin accepting listings of RVs beginning May 14th at the enviable domain name rvrentals.com. RV owners will be able to rent their units on the platform for use by customers through a soft launch phase that should begin in July, and by the fall, the full nationwide rollout should be complete. Camping World is late to the RV rental game, behind peer-to-peer giants like Outdoorsy and RV Share, and even other independent dealers who've been renting out RVs for decades. But Camping World has a leg up in that its network of 170 dealerships can offer their own rental units, along with dump stations, propane, and other technical support. Camping World's Good Sam arm will provide rental protection insurance along with roadside assistance. RV rentals have seen explosive growth in the past year, even more so than the RV industry as a whole. RV Share says that bookings are surging ahead of last summer's travel season. Last month's reservations were up 846% over last April. RV Share saw a huge influx of bookings after national parks reopened last year. And now a year later, RV Share predicts another summer of record-setting bookings. I interviewed Outdoorsy's CEO, Jeff Cavins, a few months ago on the RV Miles podcast, and he shared with me that one of Outdoorsy's biggest customer segments is people who rent RVs to go to music festivals and tailgate at sporting events. So as those types of entertainment return, RV rentals could even get bigger. If you have yet to book your campsites in what is sure to be a very busy summer camping season, tune into our Booking 2021 Campsites live stream at 7 p.m. Central this Thursday, May 6th, where I'll host industry experts that will tell you about their strategies for securing those rapidly decreasing available campsites across the country, including finding the best boondocking to get away from it all. They'll also answer your questions live here on YouTube. Finally, check out this incredible dash cam video from RVer Pete McLaughlin, who was driving the 101 south of Salinas, California, when a man who was hiding behind a sedan on the shoulder threw a rock at his windshield. Pete said just the windshield and freight alone are totaling well over $2,000 without installation. He also sent us footage of a semi-truck coming into his lane on a shoulderless road. He says thankfully the only damage was to his side mirror, and the trucking company sent a check for the damage almost immediately, no questions asked. But it's an incredible pitch for the power of a dash cam when something goes wrong and you need to prove what happened. I hope you enjoyed this week's RV and camping news. We'll continue to keep you up to date on all the latest stories and developments every Saturday, so make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you think a friend would like to know about this week's stories, please share this episode on social media. If there's anything specific you want us to cover, let me know. You can send your suggestions or requests for topics by emailing editor@rvmiles.com. Comment below if you have any thoughts on this week's items. You're my favorite news show on YouTube. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot, Juliana. A new Airstream order will take a year to get ordered. That was the most shocking thing I heard on this video. Can you elaborate on this? Is it specific models or across the board? It's across the board apparently, and it's really not about the time it takes to build them. It really is about all these delays in getting materials and getting components. So they have the capacity to manufacture more RVs at Airstream for sure. They just can't because they don't have the parts. This kind lady thinks those driverless national park shuttles will be filling you with radiation. Perhaps I've just become a curmudgeon in my senior year, but I'm tired of seeing the English language being destroyed. In this video, you use the horrible term merch. That is not an actual word. Have we grown so lazy that we cannot say merchandise? Or if that is too difficult, how about products? I think you answered your own question. See you next time.